Good afternoon. This meeting of the Eastham Board of Library Trustees will be video recorded and broadcast over local access channel 8 and through the town website at www.eastham-ma.gov. This meeting is called to order at 4 o'clock on January 20th. Let's start with, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of December 16th?
I make the motion to approve the minutes of December 16th.
Second.
We have a second. We have a motion, a second, and any discussion or additional comments? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 5-0. Being no members of the public, we do not have public comment. I've been notified that our student ambassadors will not be able to join us this afternoon, so we will move on to the Friends of the Library, Debbie.
Thank you. Well, as probably everybody notices, the elves were here on January 8th and all the holiday decorations are gone from the inside of the building and it looks kind of empty right now. It's always that end of the holiday routine. Anyways, our Saturday winter programs for January through March are in full swing right now with a nice diversity. We have 5 music programs, several paper arts workshops for adults, which are all full with waiting lists. And Corey's game days for younger folks, such as Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, all our favorites. And the program committee has finalized the plans for 5 more concerts in April and May. Dates are April 18th, 25th, and May 2, 9, and 16. The Friends continue to be very grateful to year-end donors. In the last month, we've received more than 5,000 in end-of-the-year donations and a few membership renewals. And we finished the first half of the fiscal year with a strong showing in book and merchandise sales, about 15,000 total for the first half, which is great. Our February meeting was moved to the 12th, so as not to conflict with the repurposed book art reception, which is, as I think we all know, 3:30 to 5:30 on Thursday, February 5th. And the Friends will be supplying volunteers and the refreshments for visitors to both art exhibits, the repurposed book art and the community art. It's going to be is that going to be in both the hallway and the big room?
It is.
Okay, good.
Well, it's gonna be, yes,
Okay,
the arts in both,
okay, good.
but there may be some pedestals in the
Oh, in the lobby.
interner also
Oh, okay.
for some of the sculptures. We don't know what
Okay.
we're gonna get and how to set it up yet.
A couple people from Wellfleet have responded to when I posted it on their page. And one of them asked me, is there a size limitation? So I said, what do you got in mind?
Yeah, right. It really isn't.
So, well, he did, well, actually, it was like, he was mentioning like 11 by 18 or,
Oh.
and I'm thinking to myself, have you ever been in here? Do you
Right.
know how big we can be?
Look at the piece that
I know.
There's up there now,
Yeah, so anyway, so that's good, because then somebody else chimed in too.
Yeah.
That they were gonna ask the same question, so hopefully.
Right.
They want to know what local, quote unquote, meant, and we said,
Yeah.
you're local.
Yeah. Outer Cape.
Yeah.
Got it. Melanie, the 5th is really early for us to get all the comments written and the judging done.
Yeah.
So we'll try.
Okay,
Will it all be up? Do you know what the date it'll all be up?
it's supposed to all be in by the 30th.
Okay.
Because I wanted to make sure that you guys had enough time. Some of it is starting to come in now. If you guys can't get it in, it's it is what it is. We appreciate you volunteering to do this. I was feeling like the 12th was kind of late. That's why I pushed for the earlier one. In the future, I'll make sure that we get our ducks in a row and we're all on the same page
I
about that.
don't think everybody can get it done in
That's okay.
like 3 days.
That's okay. Sorry about that.
So will some be judged and some not? Is that?
We're gonna do the best we can, but
Yeah.
people can't do it in 3 days.
Oh, no, I understand that. I'm
That's
just
a quick
saying that
turnaround.
Some will and some won't.
that the children come
Well,
in and their
no, they-
parents come in and
They
their
probably
teachers
won't
come in.
because everybody has to look at them. We can select the prizes
But all the
It's hard.
cards.
Okay,
by that date.
by that day.
We won't be
okay.
able to write all the comments. by
Yeah,
then.
okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that makes sense and
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
plan better in the future. Thank you guys for the work that you do.
Well, that's
to make
good,
that
because there'll be a
possible.
reason, hopefully, to, get the kids to come back
Yeah.
and read the comments.
Yeah,
But the judging will be done though, right? Okay.
even if I have to do it just myself.
I apologize
Well,
about
keep the
that.
library open 24/7 for you guys to do it.
It may just be one or two of us being able to do it.
Okay. Okay,
Thank you.
anyway,
Thank you.
that's it.
Okay. I think we were on to the director's report then. Oh, were there any comments or questions for Debbie? I see none. Melanie?
We've got a lot going on. We're looking to have a couple of staff trainings and professional development opportunities. One with the East Camp Police Department about public safety and a community resource training with the Outer Cape Navigator Program with the Homeless Prevention Council. So TBD on that. I'm trying to see if I can maybe group some trainings in together depending on the police department's availability. And staff availability based on programs that we have going on.
Thank you
Excuse
very
me.
much for looking into that for
Yeah,
me.
it was on my radar too. I think it's a good time because we have new people.
Mhm.
So I think that makes sense. Another thing I wanted to remind folks of or kind of newly get on your radar. A few months ago, we started to subscribe to the Library Speakers Consortium, which is online author talks. Online only, so you have to kind of zoom into it, but it's available through our website underneath the main program calendar. It's just called Online Author Talks. And we have updated the series that we're featuring in that. So we have every month we're gonna have a fiction author, a nonfiction author, and a kids/teen author available. So that'll be a nice spectrum of availability there. And just as a reminder, you can participate in that. You can, submit questions in the chat and see that event live, but you can always go back and see any of the myriad of programs and authors they have all the way back even before we were subscribing. So that's a cool feature of that database too. Yeah.
Have we, with the young adult and the children's authors, have we reached out to the school librarians so that one of the things that I could never afford was to have an author come in and speak to the
The
kids
classroom?
or the classrooms or the teachers, and I always looked for online things. So are they aware of?
Not yet, this is new, but we should definitely, I think that there's gonna be a variety of ages there, so really elementary school through high school, they would just be interested to know, so we can mention that to them, yeah, thank you. I just wanted to highlight that Corey is doing some tech resource programming, so he'll be doing some specific programs on like how to use your Libby extras through the Libby app. I think there's one on how to access ebooks. He and I are both going to be also duplicating programs that we provided last fall and winter at the senior center. His was library e-resources and mine was on Get Set Up, the new database that we got a few months ago, and we're going to be duplicating that later this month, and I'll be doing one in February. So just continuing those services to expand our knowledge of our tech resources with the community. Debbie already mentioned what we're doing with the winter music series that Karen's coordinated for January and February, and a big thank you to the volunteers with the friends who help on the programming committee with Karen. I just want to say a big thank you to the Friends for sponsoring the repurposed book art reception, and a big thank you to the art committee and the volunteers there who always assist us with the judging and the cards there. As Debbie mentioned, we're also this is bringing back by popular demand, the journal making workshop that Marianne had put together for the first time last year with Heather Pilchard. So we're bringing that back, and it is full times 2. So there were 12 spots and there are 12 people signed up and 12 people on the waiting list. So that's exciting. Cheryl Jaffe, who is the local Wellfleet artist who did the paper tree upstairs, is going to be doing 2 workshops with us on paper making out of organic material and then making a sculpture out of that paper. I believe it's a workshop that she also did at the Museum of Natural History where the piece was on display for a while. So that's going to be one workshop for youth and one for teens and adults over school break in February. The Youth Services Department has just gone above and beyond with all of the really cool programming that they're offering. Mrs. Brown is doing a library lab, and I actually have a typo on here. She's doing 3 of those. So there was one at the beginning of January, one tomorrow, and one 2 weeks from tomorrow. And then they have Saturday Build and Play, which Megan is putting together Saturdays throughout the winter, which is kind of her own take on Fran's Saturday fun days at the library. So that's going to be great. And Leah had really great participation with her Cartoonist Club, which is a graphic novel book club for young people. It's very cool. She said that she had a whole like span of age range from like 7 to, hey, oh yeah. Do we want to meet Megan really quick, actually? She's on her way out, but we'll just say hi.
Yeah.
We're talking about you.
Hi, Megan.
So just formally, this is Megan, our youth services library assistant. And she's
Door
been.
closed, you're trapped.
Yeah. So, hi Megan, welcome. This is the library trustees, Debbie Abbott, and this is Robin Rowe, Sarah Higgins, me, Mary Shaw, Al Alfano, and Willow Shire.
Hi, everybody. We were just talking about your classes that you've been.
Yeah, all the programs
fun
that you've been
programs.
doing. Yeah.
Yes, very excited about.
I was just gonna mention, Rise and Shine on Tuesdays has been going very well. I think you've been saying, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I had 13 people today.
Were they looking for Corey too? Corey balancing on one leg, like,
Yeah,
there they go.
trying to get them.
He's a good sport.
No, you're a good.
What were
Um,
the age ranges? Like, what's,
So we had one little one who I think was maybe 8 months
Oh
old.
my
gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Just starting to crawl, so I think that's around how
Yeah.
old she was. And then the oldest I think was maybe 3.
oh, okay.
So yeah, all the little, I think most of them were 18 months ish.
Okay.
And their parents, so that's been really, really sweet and fun to.
Do you ever see fathers coming in with their children?
Yes, we had 3 dads today.
It's great.
With their kids, which is so great, and they're like doing all the movements and singing the songs too, so that's been really fun.
Because I was reading about a library that has a program just for fathers to bring their children in. And I thought that was a fantastic idea.
I think we need that here
They have a
because
couple regulars on
Yeah.
Saturdays that come in.
Yeah.
I see them come in with their kids.
they seem totally unintimidated or.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm just saying it was just fathers.
Right,
For
yeah,
the
that's what-
fathers to get to know each other with their children.
Yeah.
It was, I thought it was a nice, an interesting idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice to
Great.
see a mix.
Well, thank you for
Yeah,
what you're doing, and thank you for being with us.
So happy to be here.
Great.
Thank you. Great.
Well, you totally can stay, but
Yeah.
we're not trapping you here. You're free to. Thank you so much. Megan. I
Nice to
appreciate
meet you.
Well, that was perfectly timed.
Yeah.
I didn't bribe them to do that, but so yeah, so Megan has been a really wonderful addition, and she and Leah are just going, gangbusters with all the cool programs that they're trying to have for a variety of age groups, all the way from, I guess, 8 months old through into 18 until they get to be adults. Just a couple other things I want to highlight. Another fun thing that they're doing over February break is a teddy bear tea party, which I think that they had signups for, so they could anticipate like food and things like that, but that's going to be really fun. And then there's a couple programs going on with Rec. We're doing the Valentine card making, the leprechaun trap making as well. And Leah and Megan are working to have regular teen nights, and their winter one is going to be the Big Chill this Friday evening.
What do they do with that? Do they have music? Do they have food?
It kind of depends on the theme. This one is, as you can imagine from the title, it's supposed to be pretty zen. So there's going to be like low key music, not like rock dance music or anything like that. There's going to be some food, but it's going to be like low stakes craft, relaxing kind of activities. Sort of do something, stimulating but relaxing with your brain during a time when a lot of kids are really busy with midterms and, it's the winter and things like that. So,
Do you get a good mixture of male and female?
so this will be, I think, only the second teen night that Leah has done. She's done some other iterations of like teen specific programs. But she's just really gearing up to do this kind of regular teens hang out and just do kind of fun things together. But so far I would say a lot of her volunteers are young women, but they're definitely young boys who are participating too. So, it's great. Just a note here, I haven't rescheduled the new date for the legislative event, but I will send that out as soon as I have that. It just feels like this year has been especially difficult to schedule things, and the legislative event is no exception. A note, if you weren't already aware, the Community Services Department's presentation to the Town of Eastham Financial Committee is going to be February 26th. So I'll be there presenting the library's draft budget for FY 27 there. A couple of other updates that we had some requests for more information on. I wanted to just give an update on what's going on with the Baker and Taylor closure. You may have heard that this has been a really big impact in a lot of libraries. We're definitely feeling that here. It was one of our biggest vendors, but we were fortunate in that we already had regular relationships with Amazon and Ingram purchasing from them. So we've just had to kind of increase what we're purchasing with them. And it's just been a bit of a transition, but it's working fine. And having that flexibility allows us to get the best pricing available to us. Just some interlibrary collaborations that we have going on. We are again partnering with the Provincetown Public Library to do their Winter Wednesdays programs. As a reminder, Winter Wednesdays is just kind of the tagline. They offer classes kind of every day of the week at a variety of locations, and we're going to be offering classes Mondays and Fridays at the library. You can check out our public calendar for details on that. Just some other things that we have going on, some fun opportunities for CLAM's library staff to get together. There's a public services advisory group, which every library has a member that participates in that. They're going to do a roundtable event at the Eldridge Public Library in Chatham on the 26th. Freya is going to be attending that on behalf of our library. And a note on libraries in the news, if you hadn't already seen, at the beginning of December, the IMLS announced that it had reinstated all federal grants which were terminated as a result of Executive Order 14238. Just the latest update that I had this morning was that the executive branch appealed the overturnment of that. So anyway. It's just all of it.
The mess.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
A little bit more on the local level, the state Senate bill, an act regarding free expression, was voted to advance by the state Senate in November, and that'll be discussed by the House Committee on Those Means. Any questions?
Just one question.
Yes.
The Eldridge Library is the one in Chatham, not
Yes.
Orleans.
Correct.
Yeah, I was wondering.
DRED. LIDED.
Huh?
For the repurposed fair, are there any guidelines about like what percentage of it should be book or just asking for a friend? Or a 7-year-old or 6-year-old?
Yeah. We try to be, I think, as open as possible because the goal is community participation. If you've been by my office, I have kind of a lower stakes paper art, the word that I'm looking for, like garland type thing.
A paper chain?
Yes, exactly. It's just like, simple, so it
Yeah.
it doesn't have to
Okay.
be crazy. Yeah, just should be fun. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other
Okay,
questions? Okay.
thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, we're moving on to old business and we have the policy review.
We don't have any new policies this month.
And the next item is the prep for the trustees and through the staff. And we had a couple of people working on that.
Robin and I were working on that. We met about it and I think Robin sent out the plan to everyone, which,
Right, I did.
right, did everybody see it?
Do you want that plan in the minutes?
Probably,
Just give it to me again and I'll put it in the minutes.
or maybe we should shorten it, or I don't know if the staff reads the minute.
Ready are we ready for it to go in the minutes?
Okay, I'll take it out.
Well, no, I mean, it can, if it's in there, fine, don't.
No.
No, it can go in.
Do the staff read I don't know if we wanna, what do you-
Some of them will read it at some point. I haven't shared the plan with them directly because I figured the
Yeah.
board wanted to talk about it first.
right, do you have your write-up about it?
Um,
I can look it
Do
up.
some-
So basically sorry, I was not prepared.
I have the
Okay.
email here.
So the proposal, so the input from Melanie was that actually a Saturday morning would be the best time to do this in terms of the number of staff that would be here. So we chose 9 AM on Saturday, April 11th. To have an event here for them at the library and to get it, and to get food from Lucky's in North Eastham.
I've spoken to,
Okay.
yeah, I was supposed to meet him yesterday and I completely forgot.
And we were thinking instead of getting just like, sugary treats on a plate, that we could actually send them like some type of menu ahead of time and say, here, choose like a smoothie or a breakfast sandwich to get,
That's a cool idea.
and actually like order it ahead of
And then-
time for, so that it's not just like, here's a croissant.
Yeah.
That's it.
Here's a donut.
Right,
Yeah.
and I spoke to Lucky on the phone already and he's very excited about that.
Yeah, oh, they would.
So,
It's like when they did Nos at Light, when they
Yeah.
did the full moon tour.
so I have to call and apologize that I
Yeah.
didn't make it over there yesterday for whatever reason.
Food there's fabulous.
I
Yeah,
know,
it is.
so he was excited, he's gonna, as long as we can pick it up and it's not gonna be catered, cause otherwise he said he'd have to get the Board of Health
Sure.
involved for a catering
I can
situation.
always pick it up one for
So
you
we
guys.
can- We can pick
Yeah.
it up.
Could someone, I still have never been to it. Now I have to go.
Let her pick it up. No,
I know,
it's fine.
I gotta go and check it
No,
out.
it's, yeah, no, it's good, but he's on board with that, so that's good.
Lucky and Nemo. Nemo, when you go in there, Nemo's the tall one.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll tell me, send me.
They make the best chai anywhere because it's not too sweet.
It's good, I better call him.
And avocado toast
Dale's the one who turned me on to that.
with hard-boiled eggs.
You're right.
This meeting was not sponsored by.
We have a budget for that yet? We know.
No, so right, yeah, I guess we
No.
would have to look at the menu and set that.
And I
This
get a
is-
number of staff, how
Yeah.
many staff we need, what do we say, 12
12,
or 15?
yeah.
12, I
Right,
think.
this is gonna be April 11th, so we have time.
Right,
But when you get to that point, then
Yeah.
we should do a motion to approve the funds.
Totally blew him off yesterday.
yes. And then we, we're still thinking we'd offer a gift as well, either a choice between a gift card to a local bookstore or, the vests, the Eastham Library vest.
So I have some questions. One thing I want to say is that by having the folks figure out what they want, because in the past, we've wanted to make sure that we had some gluten-free type of things. I
Yes.
don't know if we still have somebody, Mary Ann was gluten-free, and so we wanted to make sure that we had gluten-free food, but if they're gonna order it themselves,
Thank you.
that would, I guess, take care of that. But I'm just saying that that's one thing.
Yes,
that to
yeah,
think
that's why
about,
this
depending
place,
upon what we do.
yes, that's why this place has smoothies and, yeah.
Yeah, and my other question is, when you're talking about a gift card to the local bookstore,
Mhm.
what dollar amount are we talking about?
I think I was, whatever we did last year, which I think was,
I went to the Brewster Bookstore. I've been working with the Brewster Bookstore for this program for years.
okay,
And they give us a good discount
oh, great,
and they give me I get little envelope with a gift card inside. And I believe that last year I went in and I think the figure that we were talking about was $35, but I don't know what the vest cost.
It was around there. Those are about the same.
I don't know, because they had Friends merchandise gift certificates last year,
Right.
and I don't remember what it was.
I
Whether,
thought we upped it, I mean, I can look through the minutes.
Yeah.
I thought we upped it to 40.
Well, why don't we,
What-
when you come back,
Yeah.
then we can talk about the budget for it once we have a
Yeah.
little more information. And I think if I make a note to make sure we have it on the February agenda, that'll, I think by then they'll be able to have the information, and if not, we still have the March where we can do it. So I think we're good.
Any other
Yeah.
suggestions for it?
So I just think that if we're going to talk about the vest and the bookstore, that obviously if the vest is going to be one price, then
Yeah.
there should be. The
Right.
gift
To make 'em
certificate should be a
balance.
similar amount. I
Yes.
mean,
Okay,
that there should be.
Yeah,
yeah, that makes sense.
okay. Thank you for taking this on as a subcommittee. It's always nice to have subcommittees working and then the report come back, so thank you.
So Willow, are you good with what's in the minutes or do you wanna just?
I'll read you what I have. The subcommittee, old business, I've already moved on here. Prep for the trustees, thank you to staff and Ava, Robin and Sarah proposed that the event be held on Saturday morning, April 11th at 9 a.m. with food from Lucky's in Northeastham. Staff will have a choice of a gift certificate for a book or a library branded vest.
That's good to me.
Okay. So
Okay,
I guess you just gotta get on it, so.
again, thank you. Okay, the 10th anniversary committee update, again, that was sent out as an addendum to the packet, so I'm not gonna go through the whole report. It was there. You've had an opportunity to read through it. If, could I share my screen at, this point? Let me bring this up.
While you're doing that, can I give a couple updates that we
Sure.
haven't come to the committee yet? I did line up Mary Backus to do food for it, and she was excited to do it, and obviously we'll get back to her. But close to
Mhm.
February 14th of 2027. And also the beacon design, it's in the works. In about 2 weeks, we'll have a something to look at as far as a design for the ornament.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then after that, the person I've been talking to, who was the person that Jim had been dealing with, he said there's always tweaking that
Mhm.
goes on, but here will be the artist's first rendition of, what he hopes we like. And it'll go from there. And he said, once it's finalized, it's about 4 weeks from when they take it to when they're done. So,
Okay, let me,
yeah, I'll give you that stuff for the
Yeah,
next
well,
meeting.
what
But I
we'll
figured since
do-
I know it, we might as well.
yeah, what I've been doing with these, subcommittee meetings is after we do the presentation to the board, then I'm contacting the group when we're setting our next meeting. So we've been meeting roughly on a monthly basis, and that's been working out this way. We have time to do things, put a report together and present. And as I said, the report was sent out, so you had a chance to look at it, and I, want to read through the report. What I'm getting, Melanie, is enter a sharing key or meeting
I
ID.
think you have to join the meeting again.
Okay, so let me do that. That would be in the.
Well, while you're doing that, Al, can I ask Deb a
Sure.
question on the ornament?
Yeah.
If we decide on a particular ornament, do we have to agree to buy so many,
Yep, 250.
250?
Yep. So we're figuring if he does it the way we want him to, it could probably be about $12 each. 11 to 12 is what he was guessing. So that would be, 11 to 12 times,
Times 250?
yeah, three grand or so.
I just want,
Yeah.
we need to figure out how we're
Yeah.
gonna be doing that. I figured
Yeah.
we couldn't just ask him for one because, or not one, but I mean,
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
250 is their
this week
absolute,
3, this week 4.
right, their absolute minimum.
250.
Which is why we had so many, the Eastham 400 ones hanging around for so long. But, I mean, that's the kind of thing we will have them in time for Turnip Fest, November and Christmas, and then February.
Mhm.
So, I mean, and then we'll have them, if you guys as a gift for somebody, some of the big donors.
It's something we've got to talk about.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the kind of thing, that's why 250 to me didn't,
The number 250.
yeah, that didn't scare me at all when you start thinking about people you might like to gift one to who are,
Okay.
Well,
If
and the various times that we could, put them for sale.
sure, yeah.
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 Okay.
What are you hearing, Al?
Is your audio muted, Al? So that when,
Yeah, my audio is muted right now. Shall I unmute my audio? I think that's gonna cost.
no, yeah, you don't want to do that. The owl will, pick you up, so that should be fine.
Okay. I didn't duplicate this to distribute because it's many pages. But basically, one of the things that I was tasked with at the last meeting was to put a timeline together. And what I've done is if we go down the left-hand side, we have subgroups working on scheduling, art display, music, space usage, children participation, merchandise, and the list goes on, photos, branding, donor recognition, the program itself, etc. And what I've started doing is I have each meeting date, not each meeting date, I have the first four meeting dates because we've met, and then each month up until the time that we actually get to the event, which is out there, the 10th anniversary is on the 14th, and where there are special dates that come up in between, like one date that I have at this particular point is here, the first, and that I met with Corey to talk about the display of photos for the construction of the library. And he basically told me, I should try to get that to him by 6 months before the event so he could have time to get stuff reproduced and mounted, etc. So I put that in. And as I speak with each committee, like when Debbie just mentioned about the ornament, that, they need so much time to order it, I'll plug that into this. So as the group moves forward, we'll have all of the things that we're working on, and then we can check them off as we move through the months. So that piece is done, and I'll go over this in more detail with the committee when we meet. But I just wanted to give you an idea as a board.
You've been
Hopefully,
busy, Al, haven't you?
we're looking at a lot of things.
Yeah.
And
Was
people,
not what I thought he was gonna come up with.
yeah,
Did you really get back in like your teacher roots there?
That looks like an,
He likes lines.
that looks like an engineer job to me.
No,
it's the type of thing that,
you love to do. That's what he
if
likes to do.
you prepare it and you make sure you have the checklist, there aren't surprises. And I remember in teaching when someone says, "Oh, you make it look so easy." Well, but that's because a lot went into it before the actual event. Otherwise, it gets a little chaotic. But at any rate, all of the subgroups within the anniversary committee have tasks to do. And what I'm doing within each thing is, when something new comes up in the discussion, I'm adding it and marking when we discussed it, and hopefully we won't lose track of where something is. But that's what's going on.
Al, when's the next meeting?
We have not set that. What I'll do
It's
after
not on
this
your,
meeting.
it's not on your schedule. I can't believe it.
Wait for this one.
So this one.
That's where it says February of 26, this one right here, okay?
He sets it after this meeting all the time.
Right.
That's right there, okay, February 28th. So 26, so we'll set that date and going forward.
Wow.
Yes,
I just have one comment on the date that is the first weekend of school break, and it's actually during a long weekend. So,
A lot of people might not be here.
yeah, but I mean, I know it's hard. I was just giving you that
There's gonna be something with everything. then.
feedback, yeah.
I think so. But I'll make a note about it.
So like on Monday, the library will be closed for President's Day, right?
Well, I'll bring it up at the committee and,
Yeah, I'm not suggesting you need
No.
to change it, but just since I'm aware of what the calendar, the
this is
school
what I've
calendar
done.
looks like, I just wanted to let
No.
everyone know.
as other suggestions, Mary made a suggestion, she did it by email. we talked about it at the meeting, we figured out how we, work different genres of music in. We originally had a
Jazz.
piano.
Some
concert.
jazz
Yeah.
for Norma. I
Yeah.
told Al that we should have some jazz for Norma.
Yeah, Art is going to deal with that part of
Yeah.
it. Yep.
So
Yeah.
I'll bring it to the committee and, we'll look at the dates
Yeah.
and, I mean, if makes sense and it's doable, why not? Nothing's locked in at this point. If we look at the dates and it's not doable, then the answer is, gee, sorry, we're not gonna be able to change that.
Mhm.
But, I'll bring that to the committee for discussion. And then we'll be back next month with another report.
And I know we spoke about putting together a pamphlet of some sort. Is that on your
Well, the, down at the bottom is the program.
program? Okay.
Down here, if you recall, Mary, when we were doing El Biffy,
Yeah,
the way I work on projects is I throw something together.
Yeah.
And then people could throw rocks at it or darts at it, and we either like it or we don't like it, or we change it. But what I just started doing was I didn't send it to anybody, but I started putting a program together with, all of the historic images of the library and the new library, history, what a program might include, and then on the back, the, hours of the library, et cetera. So this is simplistic at this point, but it's a beginning to bring to the committee and say, this is my current thinking on the program. What's good, what's not good, and it'll evolve as we go along.
Yeah, they did a nice job when Sturgis had their library, that was their 150 years of library service, and I was sharing this with Al as to what they did and what they put together, and
Yeah.
we thought it would be a good idea to have a program of some sort.
Yeah, and that's when I took some of
Yeah,
that Sturgis
you took some copies.
information, the ideas.
Yeah.
And, on the program itself, I didn't get much beyond welcome and introductions and refreshments. But I have a whole bunch of handwritten stuff in here that we can go over. But that's where we're at on the anniversary committee.
Can I throw out one thing too,
Sure.
is that will need to be decided is what we want, other than Eastham Public Library. What we want, do we want 10th anniversary? Do we want actual date? And those are the kind of,
This is the ornament?
The, what was interesting on that
yeah,
is when we,
technically it's 2016 because
Yeah.
it was November.
well,
Yeah.
and when Christine joined our committee, and, she went back and she looked at some of the earlier dates, like on the date on the VIS building.
Yeah.
And in addition to being the 10th anniversary of the new building, it might not be exact, but it's like a huge anniversary of the library serving the town of Eastham back in 1887. That's when the Village Improvement Society got the gift of land. And even going back before that, in 1878 was when they first got money to open up a library in the general store, room above the general store.
Right.
So the library has been serving Eastham, since 1878. This is the 10th anniversary of the new building, but possibly, what we could do like on a program is, have 10th anniversary and then like in parentheses or different serving Eastham since,
Since a date, yeah.
Something like that. But just little things like that pop up and then just edit as we go
Mhm.
along.
Al, Christine, who joined your committee?
It was Chris,
Christine Johnson,
She's at the library here.
Her
yeah,
name's at the top.
yeah, on the top, yeah, that's it. I knew I had it someplace. Christine Johnson hyphen Duell.
Great.
Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Oh, no, you're back. Okay. And minimize that. I want to get back to where I was. Trustees. Okay. Okay, we'll see 10th anniversary. Then we'll go with that. Okay, we had other things on the roll business, the Turner Room IT update. new information there?
Yeah, so I had a meeting with Rafal and he said that, we have the ability to do what town hall is doing, which is use in the Turner Room, the built-in cameras to stream a library program or meeting to YouTube, which is what the town is doing. But
But not to Channel 8, right?
not to Channel 8.
Right.
They're not doing that. We don't have the capability to do that. And so that's where it stands right now. My opinion is I don't think that we want to do that unless we have a particular need. I don't see connecting YouTube and Zoom as a direct pathway to more accessible meetings, except in kind of a marginal way. They're both accessible through the internet and, we provide 24/7 public Wi-Fi. So if somebody wanted to be able to connect virtually to a meeting, they have the ability to do that through Zoom, through the link that we provide. So I guess I would ask the board if there's, more action or direction that you want me to take on that. That's my 2 cents as I've gotten the information from town hall.
I guess what I got from Rich was that we could do like his quote, live streaming, so obviously I was not involved with any of your discussions with Rafal, but I'm saying that Rich told me in an email that we could do live streaming with what we had, and now we're hearing that that's really not true.
No, it is true. It's
Well,
just to
live
YouTube.
streaming, I'm saying live streaming, if we're having a meeting upstairs and on Channel 8, that's not possible right now.
That is
Yeah,
my
Yeah,
understanding.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think people can join in on Zoom. They have the Zoom link. And they can join in, and I think that gives an option for the public to participate. And I think that's adequate.
Yeah, honestly, if I really think it through, I can't see a situation wherein we would want to have a hybrid meeting that we were live streaming to a public channel. What if we got Zoom bombed and then we have on a public broadcasting channel an instance of what happened with the tag? That feels so. What happens right now is meetings get edited and then they get posted to Channel 8 once, there's the ability for things that are maybe, points of privacy or other things that maybe they don't want posted on public TV. I think it's a liability to live stream directly to a TV channel. So I don't think that's a direction that we would want to go in, even if we were technologically able to do that at this point in time. Would be my 2 cents.
Okay. The next one under old business E is the Timothy Smith Fund update. What I've got there is let me see if I can, all right, well, I've got the document itself, which was distributed as an addendum to the packet. I went back and looked at the history on this, and the last vote we took was on February 25th. And that's the vote where we respectfully declined the donation. Then on April 8th, Mary had raised the question about revisiting the Timothy Smith Fund. And we never came back to revisit that. So the board has taken an action. The board considered the Timothy Smith Fund and respectfully declined it. There was a request to revisit it. So I guess this is the revisiting of it. And it's open to discussion.
Mhm. Well, I don't know if anybody else, I would like to talk about it, since I'm the one that asked for it to be put on the agenda.
Okay, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. And I had in my notes that, as Al has mentioned, last February, we voted to decline the $100 donation. And at that time, we did not have a copy of the documents of the will. And we discussed it here, but we did not have the documents associated with the actual will from Timothy Smith. And last spring, I had the chance to chat with Jackie Beebe. She had some open house times at the library here, and I came in and spoke to her about a number of things. One of them was the Timothy Smith issue. And she proceeded to tell me that as far as she was concerned, it was an easy fix to do. And I asked her to send me the copy of the actual will document, since I had never seen it. None of us had seen it. And she offered to send it to me, and she did, and that's what we have in front of us today. And I also spoke to Tina, who is our town accountant, and both by email and in person. And as far as she's concerned, she has been in touch with the Treasury Department at Town Hall, and they have figured out a way to take care of the request, so that's not an issue either. So I'm gonna ask all of you to put yourself in Timothy Smith's shoes. It's 1918, and he has been successful in life. He's nearing the end of his life, and he decides to have a legal written will drawn. He gives $50,000 to the town, and that is worth about $1 million today. To give you some idea of 50,000 in 1918, what it would be worth today. And he requests that $100 be donated to the library. And that would be worth about $2,000 today, back in 1918. The annual report for 2023 shows it in the annual report for the town. And it shows the $50,000 that was non-expendable, which is what he gave us. And at the end of 23, it had an expendable amount of $166,878.37. And I'm going to ask if the trustees vote to honor Timothy Smith's will request.
So you're asking us to reconsider the
Yeah,
motion?
I'm asking us to honor his request to provide what he wanted to do in his will.
Okay, let's get a motion on the floor,
Okay.
and then let's do discussion. So I have some questions, but I figured before having the discussion before the motion, let's get the motion. So, Mary, I'm assuming you would make a motion.
Do you need the
That we
document?
honor
Do you have
the
it written down, your motion?
Oh, I didn't write down a
Oh,
motion. I asked, you can use what I just said. I asked if the trustees vote to honor Timothy Smith's will request. If you want to write it like that, I
to
don't.
accept the $100 annual donation. So that's the motion. For the purpose of discussion, I'll second the motion. So that we can at least have a discussion about it. I saw Robin, it was Robin or Sarah. I looked across the table and saw a hand.
So I just wanted to clarify that it would be the $100 a year, and that money's still there.
Oh, yeah, I just told you that
Yeah.
there's plenty of money there. I mean, the town, well, you've seen the document, the town gets monies from that fund
From the
for an
fund.
assortment of other things, not just the library. In fact, that's
Right.
probably the smallest amount.
So it would be $100 a year, and he wanted it to be used preferably at the Christmas season for the assistance of deserving and needy age.
No, that's nothing to,
Sentence before.
no, that's nothing to do with the
Five bucks.
$100.
Yeah, the sentence before that was
Just
the
underlined one.
I know.
books.
The money you're talking about is for something else entirely.
No,
Expended in the purchase of
Yeah,
new
'cause
books
there's
for said
like-
no,
library.
because it says, and the remainder of the said income will be used as the loan fund.
Yeah, but this, what is that, a semicolon?
Yeah, semicolon.
So it's not referring to the library anymore.
I was gonna
I
share,
only know this because of.
I was gonna share my pen because I highlighted it, but I have to sign back in again and put the passkey and everything else. The
Okay, I see.
where's the PDF? There we go.
Alright, so it's just a flat $100, however we wanted to spend, purchase of new books.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your questions? So
Yeah.
that's all the clarification and
Yeah, that was just the idea, set income $100 paid to the town officials, in charge of people in charge of the public library, to be expended for the purchase of books. It said library. The question that I had, and the reason I voted against it last time was I just saw it as a very, I mean, not to denigrate the donation. I mean, at the time, as Mary said, $100 was a large amount of money. Uh, and I was just concerned that fast forward to today, what would be involved in terms of paperwork for the town, paperwork for Melanie as library director. And to me, it seemed like a lot of work for a small return. What I'm hearing from Mary today is that it may not be. From your end, Melanie, do you, we have that whole list of, the donations, what are,
Memorial
yeah,
funds.
the memorial funds. Uh, when you deal with those funds, what if you're dealing with one of the funds, to expend the money from that fund? What time of, what kind of time commitment is involved on your part and having to go in and do that to get whatever the expendable amount is?
To manage like in my spreadsheet, or because the Timothy Smith Fund, insofar as my experience is all of the memorial funds that we can expend monies from, I have sort of direct access to pay from those accounts. The Timothy Smith Fund, the reason that when we had the previous discussion was talking about, the sort of effort put in to get the money and then account for it. It's not really, greatly burdensome in terms of amount of time. I guess what I would say is it's more, sort of where is it going and how are we kind of tracking it long term? How are we sort of, showing or proving that we're expending this, because it's just such a small amount. It's, I can do it. We just have to decide where we want to put it and how we want to, I guess, kind of use it every year or show that we're using it.
Could it be, if from the town's end, it sounded like, what Mary was saying is from their end, transferring the $100 to the library doesn't sound like.
No, it'll go into one of,
One
the
of the
library,
funds.
the checking account, the trustees checking account, or state, whatever, account we choose for it to
Yeah.
go into.
Could it be like with the other memorial accounts, could it be like Timothy
No.
Smith? No,
No.
it wouldn't be that way. So
No,
it would
and-
just be,
Why would we want to add any?
yeah, that's, I know, I
Anything
wanted to consolidate that list. Yeah,
Here's $100, buy some books.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's a non-issue. It just is,
So it'd be a matter of put it into the library's checking account,
Mhm.
trustee
It
interest
doesn't have
account.
to be used every year.
And then, I'm sorry, I missed what you just said.
I said the $100 doesn't have to be used every year. It can be put into into an account and then used it sometime when you need it. There's nothing that says you have to spend the $100 every
The
year.
question is then in Melanie's reporting, are we asking her to say she spent $100 on children's books this year, didn't spend anything next year, 2 years from now, she spent $200. Does she have to report that?
No, you don't have to report it to anybody.
so then in 10 years, when we've been collecting $100 over 10 years, and I didn't say anywhere that that's for the expending of books, and then we have whatever, $1,000 that, But that's fine, we can do it and I can track it that way. It just,
I
you
don't
know,
think it's necessary to be tracked.
but if,
But-
then
Like,
how do I
make her
know?
Track out Biffy.
How am I supposed
Yeah.
to know that we're spending $100 on books if I
Because
don't
if you
track
put
it?
it, like, put it in the trustee memorial fund and those funds are used to be used for books, so.
Not exclusively.
No, I know, I realize that, but I'm just saying, but just put it into a fund where that we use for books and then.
I have a suggestion. If when we vote, it's approved that we're gonna accept the fund, that'll depend on the vote. My suggestion would be that we expend it each year.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
spend
that's
$100 and
that's
that way
fine.
there's no question of accumulating $1,000 and then somewhere down the line saying, oh,
To be
gee,
clear,
did we spend $100 one year, so we really only have nine
It
hundred
doesn't,
dollars?
it doesn't, in that sense, it doesn't actually make a difference whether I track it the year that it's spent or years later, because at some point in time, it has to be tracked to ensure that we're doing what
That
we
we're
say that
doing
we're
what
doing,
we're supposed
so.
to be doing.
Cause it's just gonna commingle, so by saying she spent it, it's just
Yeah.
another thing she has to track.
Like, and,
So it's
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
it's just,
Just part of,
again, adding the more administrative burden, it's just like her having, you know. We're like going in reverse of what we tried to do, remember last year when we tried to get
Yeah.
down the memorial accounts?
So. Any other,
So if we don't take the $100, does it just stay in the account in the town?
Mhm.
but that account is used
And that-
to support people in the town
Right.
that need it, yeah.
That need it, so it just goes to people in the
Yeah.
town that
Right.
need that,
That's
an extra the
it's not
$100.
following his wishes.
Well.
It-
Well, it
it's
is a
a lot
little
of
bit,
wishes.
because he did say he
No, I'm saying
wanted,
the $100 isn't, it wasn't put in there for Christmas.
well, it is following his wishes to some degree, because it's still gonna be helping the people that he wanted in the second half, the biggest half of his wish list.
Yeah, I'm just saying that he said $100 for books, that's not the same thing as what it's been for needy people.
But at that time that he wrote this, that was probably more of a need for the library than it is now.
Well, there's more money that goes to the needy than the other things.
Right, that's what I'm saying. His
So-
biggest focus was on the people that needed it in town, more so than the library. And that $100
the,
could accrue interest in that other account.
so another fly in the ointment in this discussion is, when I looked at the library gift policy on the website, is for gifts of things, it's clear that we may accept or we may not accept. For monetary donations, the policy says we will accept. So that's another, as I said, fly in the ointment there. The get back in here for a second.
We'd accept money from Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah, we should change that. 'Cause we
Yeah,
could-
well,
Yeah.
that's the,
What?
uh.
I
The,
don't think he's sending us any money lately.
yeah, that's the interesting
We should
question
automatically
here
accept money.
is,
It just wasn't for discussion, but
let's see what I am.
No, I just don't think we should
Does it
automatically.
gladly accepts donation,
Definitely.
yeah, sort of a welcome line, almost.
I don't think we should automatically accept money.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get to it
Mhm.
really, quickly here. Blah, 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 blah.
And
Put that on.
I would like to say, I think the first time we spoke about this, I had strong feelings and I regret coming on so strong, I can express to you all, the work that I need to do, but it really is, it's totally the board's prerogative and whatever the board votes to decide, I'm happy to proceed that way, just,
So what I'm doing is just like my two concerns, my initial concern was, would it be additional paperwork that would be burdensome? And that being the case, I voted against it because I thought that it would be. Mary has explained that she's spoken with the town and it is not. And then when I went back and I looked at the gift policy, all unrestricted monetary donations will be accepted and used at the discretion of the Board of Trustees. So again,
Hmm.
would we we would like it, so what I'm suggesting here, regardless of what we do with this particular motion, is that we probably want to
Need to look
revise
at that,
that.
yeah. Need to-
Because somewhere in the future, if we got a donation for something
Mhm.
that we know the community and we ourselves are diametrically opposed to.
Right.
And we had to accept the donation
No way.
because the
Does
gift
it, is
policies.
the wording shall rather
No,
than
no.
may?
No, this says
Will.
all unrestricted monetary donations will be accepted and used at the discretion of the board in
Oh, it
accordance
could
with a
say
whole
may,
bunch of laws.
and that would,
Yeah,
give you the out.
we could revise the policy. That could be
We're
a
gonna put it
policy
on the next
provision.
month's agenda.
That's a separate issue for
Right.
this. Okay,
Well,
On our
we
next
could,
month's
we could
agenda.
delay this until we revisit the policy. Revisit the vote.
we could do that, although I see it as you know, we could do a clean enough vote on this today to just do it. And we could even then say, and by the way, here's a motion to amend, we make another motion
Amend the policy.
to amend it, because I think now that we're all aware of exactly what it says, I think we're all in agreement that we don't want it to say that. Okay, so, my sense is that we've discussed it. And, I think we can vote on this at this point. I am planning to change my original position, based on the fact that, I've been convinced that it's not burdensome. So I'm gonna go around. Mary?
Yes.
No,
Um. No,
No.
Yes. Okay, so 3-2. We are maintaining the original vote of not accepting it. And now I would ask for a motion to amend the gift policy.
I'm gonna do it right now.
Yeah, why don't we do it? Might as well do it.
And we can take a closer.
Where it says
if you need
to change all unrestricted monetary donations will be accepted to all unrestricted monetary donations may be accepted.
so moved.
Second,
Second, any discussion on that?
as,
Seeing no discussion on that, Mary?
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Yes, 5-0. That's done. Okay,
was-
okay. Let us move on. I need to get back my trustee packet. That's what I want. Okay, the under new business. We have a 6-month review of the trustee goals. And the trustee goals, I believe,
They ended up at the end.
yeah,
So sorry about
Yeah.
that.
I didn't
all right.
put the page reference on my own notes here. Yeah,
was on
they're on pages, 16 and 17 in the packet.
It's right before this.
And this is something that we've looked through every year, and basically what we've done is, I've dropped the column that said FY 26. Added a new column that would say FY 32. And I would suggest at this point, rather than going through, well, I don't know, let me rephrase what I'm gonna say here. Let me get rid of that. Oh.
Mine just goes to FY 31.
Yeah, it goes through FY 31. So what we would do is we would drop FY 26
Okay.
and then add FY 32. And I think all of them, except the last one, even review the bylaws every 5 years, sooner if we need to. In the past, we've always agreed that all of these things need to be worked on. So unless someone feels that we need to have a more detailed discussion of it, I would just propose that we continue our practice. Uh, And if we're gonna have a discussion, I would propose that we defer it to the next meeting and we bring it back for discussion then, rather than going through these items one by one. Just bring it back next time, anyone has, oh, I wanna look at two C. We'll look at two C and we'll just look at the ones that are raised. So. What do you wanna do, Vic?
I have no comments to it.
I think continuing our current process is fine.
Well, I agree.
Mary, are you seeing anything that you
No,
want to
no,
raise?
no, my only question was the review of the bylaws.
That's just, we do them every 5 years, but that doesn't mean we have to do it. We have to wait 5 years.
Right,
If something comes up and we
Like
decide,
like we've had.
yeah, if something comes up and we want to review the bylaws, we
Yeah,
don't have to
yeah.
wait till FY 28
Right,
to do
right,
it.
right.
What we do have to do, according to the bylaws, is the change has to be presented at the meeting before the meeting on which we vote.
Mhm.
So we can't just bring it up, I can't come in and say,
Yeah,
I propose that we change this bylaw and do it. Whereas with the policies, we could do that. We can't do that with the bylaws. Okay, so I think then, what I'll do with the trustee goals is I'll update that document, Melanie, and I'll send it to you with the updates.
Sounds good.
Okay, and I'll send it also to the trustees. This way everyone will have it. Okay. The next one on the new business is the bylaw review regarding the frequency of financial review. What I noticed is in November of 24, and I think Sarah, you sent
Mhm.
out the minutes. We actually did change the bylaws, but what we never did was updated the bylaws.
Oh, the
But-
actual document.
Yeah, the bylaws still, um, were not revised.
Mhm.
So
Was it revised for the motion before it,
the,
for the library? Let's see, I didn't have time to check that. I can do that.
that was what, Article, 10?
and Article 10 and Article 5.
Yeah,
Number 5.
Yeah, Article 10 says a statement of all expenditures of money and credit will be presented at each meeting.
Right.
And I think, uh, the minutes that you sent, which I don't have on my screen right now.
Yeah, I don't think the Article 3 number 2 got updated either. I just don't think it got updated after last time's meeting.
Yeah, I think that's what happened is, we obviously voted on it.
Mhm.
And then the document itself wasn't updated.
So that was just a clerical error.
Yeah,
That's all.
so
Yeah.
thank goodness for awesome minutes.
Okay. So I would,
I knew I was having
Melanie,
deja
if you
vu
could
last
pull
month.
up those bylaws then and just revise them on the website. We can go from there.
So what are we saying? Instead of what's in our current bylaws?
Do you have the minutes from the 24th handy? I
Yes,
thought I had, pulled them up, but I don't have them up right now.
so the first one is if you look at Article 3, number 2. if you'll remember, we had to change it, to be consistent with the town charter
Mhm.
regarding the process of hiring the library director. So the edit replaces the first two sentences in Article 2, in Article 3, number 2 of the bylaws, so that the paragraph will now read, the town manager shall appoint the library director upon recommendation of the Board of the Library Trustees. The board shall be responsible for the administration and operation of the public library. Responsibilities delegated by the board to the library director will include implementation of policies approved by the board, selection and supervision of personnel, selection of books and other material, maintenance of library collections, expenditure of funds within the approved budget, direction of library operations, and provision of services to the public. The library director will attend all board meetings, but without voting privileges.
I remember that because that was my recommendation.
Yes, and it says that in the minutes, Mary's recommendation.
What date was this from again?
The November 19th meeting of 2024.
Thank you.
And then the next one, the next motion was to amend Article 10, financial statements, to read financial statements of all expenditures of money and credit will be reviewed at least quarterly.
Instead of every.
And what about, item number 5, item 5, not number 5, item 5, that needs to be changed too.
Right, that was not
That says
discussed,
that
that's,
the agenda will include a financial report every
That
month.
needs to be changed.
Why don't we, bring the bylaws back for the next meeting?
Yeah, that's a good idea
Yeah.
with everything that we're just talking about, yeah. Plus the change in 5.
okay,
Okay, so, we'll get that on the next agenda. Otherwise, by the time we figure it out and then discuss it, I think it's just not gonna be a good use of our time. Moving on to C, what constitutes of a business? This was a discussion that, it came up, when Joanna left the board, she made some comments about the business coming up at the end of the meeting. And I know, when we did the agenda prep meeting, Melanie, Mary and I, we talked a little bit about it. That there, rather than having it come up as other business at the end, to just, if someone wants to have something considered at the meeting, that it get onto the agenda. So that everybody will know what the agenda items are, and then I, as chair, can try to pace the meeting so that we can do the meeting in a reasonable period of time, and then not at the end of the meeting have some issues come up. I'm not sure that we need to do any formal change. I think we sort of just need to have some kind of an agreement or understanding on it. I did a little bit of research on, I looked up Robert's rules to see if Robert's rules said anything about what constitutes other business. And AI said no. But then it went on, and cited a whole bunch of references. This organization considers other business, that organization. And, it was things like, something that comes up between when the agenda is distributed and the meeting. So for instance, let's say, there was some major event that Melanie, needed to share at the meeting, and it happened after the agenda went out, that could just come up under other business. Emergencies, things of that nature.
Mhm.
But it shouldn't just be, discussion. I shouldn't come in and say, I read this. And can we discuss this? Is this something we can do? What the chair does, what I found in those instances, is basically says, well, that may be an interesting topic. Let's put it on the agenda for the next meeting, rather than launching into a discussion at the current meeting. So I think if there's consensus around that, we're okay. Otherwise we could bring it back, as part of the bylaws. And in our bylaws, we could define what are the businesses. And I don't think that's necessary. I think we could do it in a less formal way than that. So what's the thinking, people?
I just like to share what the select board uses. And, as a potential. This is what the select board uses on their meetings. And I thought it was a good one. And I think I have.
Yeah, I looked at what the select board, but you had, when you had given me a
One
copy of
for
that.
Willow.
That we can share.
What the select board doesn't have earlier in their agenda is what we have. They don't have old business, new business. They have a different structure to their agenda. So I could see where they have
Right.
new upcoming agenda items, needed follow-up on previous items. We would have needed follow-up on previous items under old
Old
business.
business.
So, for instance, the Timothy Smith today, we brought that up under old business. So I think we have a structure for that. That's my thing.
Right.
The school uses, future agenda items is the name of it.
Yeah, future agenda items. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Yeah, so I think we have other. And I think we could leave it at that. If we understand if something comes up, rather than getting into a 10-minute discussion of it, just to say, okay, we'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting, unless it's urgent. Like the pipe burst and Melanie has to get authorization
Right.
to spend the money to get it fixed. That's an emergency, then we do it. So do we need additional discussion on that at this point? Okay. Let me move on. Okay. The financial reports. Quarterly, I'm gonna get myself up here. Let's see. Okay. It's. So Melanie, would you walk us through this, please?
Sure, so first we've got the LBIFI spreadsheet. We haven't expended anything additional since July. So it hasn't changed since the last time you looked at this, but does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question and I've commented on it before and I just want to make sure everybody, because we have new people here. Under the second item, the rear poster sofa. And you've got LBIFI funds were not used. And are not included in the running balance. And it's correct that you shouldn't be subtracting it from the running balance, but the LBIFI funds. The monies came from the Winifred Franklin Fund, and all of those funds are LBIFI funds. It's just they're not included in the 120. So I just want people to understand that LBIFI funds were used to pay for the upholstery, but the monies came from the Winifred Franklin Fund and didn't come from the 120 that we started with. So it's not, when you say LBIFI funds were not used, that's really not exactly correct. Am I making myself clear? Yeah.
Yes,
Because Winifred Franklin
Yeah.
funds are LBIFI funds.
yes, which is listed in one of the minutes from when those funds were accepted.
Yeah. I just want, we have some new people here and I want them to understand that all Winifred Franklin funds are LBIFI funds.
And I think, all right, so it's been clarified, and I think that's fine. I just, I want to remind everybody that, again, the only reason we're maintaining this particular spreadsheet is because our feeling, I know Mary, and I should say, Mary and I felt that when we donated the remaining balance of the LBIFI funds to the trustees, it was with the stipulation that it be used for the LBIFI
Based on the mission.
furniture, fixtures, and equipment.
Mm.
Uh, and that if someone in the future were to say, what happened to that $120,000 from LBIFI? I was a donor to LBIFI. What happened with that remaining $120,000? That we would say, well, it was donated to the trustees and it was used
For this, and this, and this.
for the LBIFI mission. So I don't see this as a, you know, a financial, like when we look at the other sheets, what we're spending. I think this is sort of a reminder to ourselves that the money is being used for the
Properly,
LBIFI
yeah.
mission. So that if the question ever came up, I doubt that the question's ever
Yeah,
gonna come up, but should it could,
Yeah.
we want to be able to say that the money is being used as it was intended.
And,
So-
and we retained the spreadsheet, I have it back at the house, a spreadsheet of exactly how all the monies were used before the monies that were left over came to
Yeah.
the trustees, so.
Yeah, and that
If
is,
anybody asked about that.
yeah, and then that would be, if you felt as a former member of the LBIFI,
Mhm.
but that wouldn't be a trustee. I
No,
mean,
right.
basically, that's history. That's the money was used and there was $120,000 left. And the board of trustees got the $120,000, and this is what we've done with it since.
Mm.
So my thinking is we're done with LBIFI. Melanie?
Okay, next we've got the FY 26 operating budget from the town. Just a note for the salary lines, you'll see that the part-time salary line is expended a bit further than our full-time line. This happens because we use our part-time staff to assist with substituting and additional programming coverage and things like that over the summer. So we will be keeping an eye on that as that goes closer, and if I need any additional funds, I'll reach out to the board to help sponsor that.
And then would the procedure then be we just transfer money from other lines where you could say we've got some money in the budget here? Or
It would be more like a fund commitment. So we could decide at the time if slash when that becomes necessary, we could opt to do a fund commitment from the trustees checking account. Or alternatively, we could do a one-time sort of fund commitment from state aid. Those are both options of funds that we could use to sort of one-time help fund additional staffing if needed.
Thank you.
Any
Well,
comments? Yeah.
I have a question. I know you have a date down here. Is this information as of 1/15?
That is when I updated the spreadsheet. I tried to try and keep all the dates for when I make updates consistent. All of the. So yes, for this one, that is of that date. I have the same date on like the memorial account spreadsheet, but that's, just when all the interest goes into the
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Me too.
And I just had one other question. Are you concerned about the building repair line?
Well, that line isn't really for major building repairs.
mhm.
That's for like
Yeah.
small fixes, if we
Yeah,
need
yeah.
like new paint, that kind of a thing. The Rich has sort of a grander plan for building maintenance overall. That's kind of in his
Capital
overall
plan.
capital plan.
Capital
Yeah.
plan.
So that
So,
would be a town,
yeah, so we don't really,
okay,
manage that.
okay. And moving on,
Next, we've got our financial commitments for this year. No updates there. We have expended a few things for staff development at this time. We subscribe to State House News Service. That's something that I did for my professional development, and it sends me regular email updates of what's going on legislatively in the State House, which I just find very helpful to kind of keep in line of some things that are going on, especially as library legislation comes up through. piano tuning that was from a couple months ago. We've got to do some regular maintenance on that for the first couple of years since we recently had our piano renovation done. And yeah, we haven't expended anything else there in our fund commitments there.
So I have a question, at the end, under available balance, you've got 79, 234, 89 after all of them.
Yes. Um, I find the financial commitments to sometimes be a challenging thing to present the information to you guys. The available balance is referring each time to the account that I'm
Mm.
thinking of using it from. So
Okay.
right now, there's 79, 234 in the trustees checking account. That's where the staff development would come from. Of course, if we spent a full 2,000 from there and we, spend all of these commitments, it wouldn't
Yeah,
be.
okay, because somebody might say, well, we spent this and then we've got this much left.
Yeah.
We spent this and we've got the same amount left and we've spent all of this.
Yeah.
I'll have 79 left,
Yeah,
so.
yes, if
Yeah.
you would like me to experiment with some other ways of presenting, I'm happy to do that. I just find this to be kind of an easy
Mhm.
way for me to explain to you guys the
Mhm.
commitments there. So you'll see I have like the rest of the Lester donations sort of pulled out separately, so
Yeah,
I know how
yeah.
much is going on there. But always happy to answer any specific questions you have
You know,
about
it
that.
might be, because I had emailed you with a similar, what might just be is maybe adding a line and just having the available balance from the trustees checking and just have it listed once, instead of it appearing
After each item.
after each item where somebody, could look at it and say,
This
is
can't
that a
be-
separate thing? Maybe just put available balance and put it down on that line.
At the bottom.
Okay,
And that would, rather than after each one,
sure. I
that
can definitely
might,
do that.
Okay, memorial accounts.
Draft budget, you wanna do,
Oops.
oh, I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I screwed up, I was going to memorial gifts, but it's memorial account balance.
I think, let's go in the order that Melanie
right.
has it in the agenda.
got it,
I may have jumped to
No, you
the.
didn't, no, you didn't.
Oh, okay. Okay,
So the memorial accounts, kind of to Mary's question earlier, the interest for December has been put in as of the date, the 15th on the bottom there, so it includes the most recent interest input in income there, excuse me. Any questions or comments?
I have none.
Right. Next, we've got our draft budget for FY 27, and this hasn't changed since the last time we spoke. But does anyone have any questions that have come up since?
No, I just have, from a financial perspective, I'm just happy to see that it's only 2,000.
Yeah.
We are in some hot water, folks.
Yeah, it's pretty much level funded.
Yeah, I'm just saying for the town,
Okay.
we're in some hot water.
Okay,
Yeah, and there have been no memorial gifts this month. Or gifts.
the Dusty building review checklist. It's on page 22 in the packet.
Yeah.
So maybe looking for it.
So, we had, Mary was, chatting about just making sure that we have all of our regular building maintenance things on a coordinated list with DPW, so we can kind of keep an eye on when those things are being done. Bless you. So I'm working with, the facilities coordinator just to make sure that we kind of have a list of that. He's working to, because at this point in time, it's kind of been like when the vendor has reached out to him, so we're just trying to make sure that for a few of these things, like the backflow testing, that we're kind of in line of which vendor we're using for that and when that happens. The elevator inspection, from last time we talked about this, there was a temporary inspection pending a follow-up of like the battery backup for our elevator. The elevator inspections are scheduled by the state. The state did reschedule the updated inspection, and that's all done, so we're not intermediate. We are officially inspected for the next year, so that's good. And I've reached out to Gilville Fireplaces about getting another fireplace inspection done. We determined that we are not going to do furniture. We're going to do furniture cleaning every other year. So that's blocked for this year. Other updates include the stairwell light replacement.
Yay.
That has been done. We were able to get a tall enough ladder to get that done. The HVAC issue is still stable. We're waiting for the part that needs to come in order to do that compressor replacement or fix. So I should be getting more information from facilities once that comes in. We are still working with DPW and the vendor that swapped out the lighting last year to try and get that back corner of the children's room a little bit brighter. It's turned out to be a bit more complicated than we've thought, but we are not giving up on that. And the last two things that I want to talk about, Mary had reminded me that we did have on a previous list a request to paint a loading zone outside of the library entranceway and also to have an overflow parking at town hall sign by the exit. I wanted to get some more board feedback because those were things that we had discussed before we had made some additional changes to the parking lot. My feeling right now is that we do have a lot of signage going on. The parking lot does get very cluttered. I would prefer not to add any kind of, even if we're going to be taking it up and down, any kind of official signage. We have the sandwich boards for when we need to put signs for overflow parking. And I would personally advocate for the same thing for the overflow loading sign. I think creating more signage on the road of the parking lot itself may be a little bit more confusing than helpful. But if the board wants to pursue, it's, their prerogative to do that. But that's been my experience with how our parking lot feels and functions right now. I personally don't think that this would provide more safety for our parking lot. I think it would create a bit more clutter.
Yeah, my thinking is our parking lot is small enough parking lot, a simple enough parking lot. Remember, Jackie had mentioned at some point some kind of study, and then they ultimately decided, why do a parking lot assessment that you would do for Logan Airport parking lot? We're not going to do that for the library parking lot. And I don't know that additional signage is, people are barely reading the signs that are there now. I think putting more signs up isn't going to get them to pay more attention to them.
My biggest feeling is that when we cut back the curbs, it really reduced the kind of bottleneck that happened around that first curve. So that's one of the big reasons that I don't feel like a loading zone is as necessary. I think that delivery drivers have, kind of figured out where in the parking lot sort of makes the most sense for them based on where people have parked for that day. This is not to say that, we shouldn't continue to revisit safety of the parking lot. I just wanted to kind of close the loop on some, as Mary pointed out rightly, items that have been existing from a previous list we had.
And
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And I think the delivery personnel who are the regulars, they know the rhythm of the parking lot. They know where not to park, because if they park someplace and then a patron can't get around the corner, they will learn from that experience and they'll park differently the next time. And I'm not aware of any, complaints from patrons that they couldn't get around a delivery truck. So I think the delivery truck drivers have figured it out. And
I've noticed that WB Mason, UPS and FedEx usually park they pull in, go into the outside lane, run in with the stuff and then go right out. They don't even come in close to the building anymore.
Yeah.
It's easier for them.
Yeah, I think they do this and they figure it out, and they know that if they block traffic, they're gonna hear about it. The problem is if an individual comes up with a carload of stuff for an event.
Right.
And they just sort of
They just plop
park
themselves
right in the
front
middle,
door.
and I don't know that a sign is gonna prevent them from doing that,
That's
true. So.
I just have, I know we've talked about the exit sign, and can the DPW cut back? There are some rules that you can cut back on somebody else's property. Somebody and I have 10 feet in my mind, but I'm not sure if that's correct. Because that would be really helpful, I think, with the trees and the shrubbery that's on the left-hand side there, you can't see around. did you have a chance to ask anything about that or?
I thought that they cut it back again after you asked me because it looked more clear, but I'll check to see when the last time that they did that was.
It's a little better. I think you're
Yeah.
right. It's a little better. It's still not great, but it's a
Yeah.
little
No.
better.
Yeah, the
You do
last
have to
couple of
stick your
times-
nose way out there
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
hope no one's coming.
Yeah, to me, the bigger issue is the cars that park on the sidewalk
can't-
right of the exit.
You can't see
what's
from
coming
the.
from that side.
That's right.
The other way.
That's another
We
problem.
can't do anything about that unless the town says no parking, and
Yeah.
parking it is such a premium that they're
I'll
probably
just
not
ignore
gonna do
that one.
Yeah,
What did you say, Deb?
I said they'll just ignore that
Yeah.
one.
I know.
If you put no parking
Yeah.
in that, I mean, when it's really busy, the left where it has no parking just before Hughes driveway, it's like they'll park there anyways.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, one of these days, we'll hopefully be able to do something about the increasing the parking somewhere or other.
Yes, we could keep open. Okay,
The
Uh,
last thing I have on the building maintenance checklist, again, just wanting the board's input here. A few folks have asked me about the EV charging stations, and when I do hear updates about that, I've been sharing those with you guys, but I haven't been putting it on our maintenance checklist because I'm considering it a town project. Is that the board's sort of feeling, or do we want to adjust that?
Yeah.
Keep it,
Yeah.
yeah, anytime I hear an update, I am sharing that in my
Okay.
directory.
yeah, I think it's a town issue. I know, a gentleman, when I was here one time, raised the issue of the EV charging stations, and I basically said I mean, they're here just like they are at town hall, but we have no control over that. They have a contract with the vendor, and I understand there's some problem with that, and they're trying to get a new vendor. But I said, if you feel that strongly about the EV stations, contact DPW. It's not, it's not a library issue. It's not.
So just so I understand going forward, cause it seems like you're taking all of the things on this list and then putting them on the agenda, right? And is that what you're gonna do going forward?
No,
or-
I wanted to make sure because these were things that I had specifically been asked about, and I'm trying to keep the checklist should be the most up-to-date thing that you can all just take a quick
Right.
look at that, but I had been asked about those several updates and I did want to
Okay.
address them individually just this time, just to make sure I hit those.
Cause I thought you had a good process where
Yeah.
it said building review checklist and then we went and looked at the checklist. Okay.
Yeah.
And unless there was something major,
Yeah,
like the roof, then, okay.
I do not have any other business. Does anybody else?
yes.
Library roof.
The, Jackie has signed a contract. I didn't include that in the
No,
packet because I
no.
didn't want to put that on the website, figuring that was more of a proprietary document between town officials and the powers that be. But I have a copy of it here and I'd be happy to give a copy of that to anybody. The last update that I have is that, Odinzello Architecture has been in contact with I think it's A Solar, that's the vendor that did our solar panels to begin with, about taking those off the roof. I don't think that's happening immediately, it's just that has to be the first step, is that they have to be in communication about that, so.
I saw Jackie the other day and hadn't heard, I didn't specifically ask her about the roof.
I think this just happened this afternoon,
Oh,
so.
I would like whatever
Sure,
you have.
absolutely, yeah. You can have this one.
Is that it?
This is the contract.
Okay, does anybody else want?
I'll print out more for people when we finish up, I'm happy to.
My feeling is it's the contract between the town and the vendor, so I think what summary report you give, at the next meeting and after is fine with me, so I don't need a copy of it. I see no other business, so may I have a motion?
Oh, I had a
Oh,
question.
I'm sorry.
I learned this from Mary, who's asked it in the past. There are 2 trustees that are up for reelection this year.
Yes.
So are you running again?
I did take out papers and submit,
Okay.
the necessary, funny story, my signatures. One lady happily signed my
Twice?
not petition, and then she didn't put her address, so I had to chase her down. I said, "Oh, I know." She said, "Oh, I stopped in the middle." She said, I've lived in Eastham since 1948, but I forgot how we moved last year." So when I turned them in, I said, there's one of them's disqualified, but I think I have enough good ones that that'll work.
I have not decided what I'm doing.
Okay.
So what time will we adjourn?
Well,
I make a
I
motion.
asked for a motion to adjourn, so,
Sarah, Robin,
Sarah moved,
Ron second.
seconded. All those in favor?
I.
Opposed? We stand adjourned at 5:40.
Oh, God, I gotta get the heart, took 15 minutes.
Oh, gosh. 1948. Wow. He's seen it all.
Sorry, Robin, that's what you were saying about it.
That's double.
Thank
Sorry.
you all very much.
Double meeting.
Oh,
Usually it's just in Orleans, which isn't bad, but today it's.
Oh, no.
Oh, great. What?
She's just saying this, usually her meeting's in Orleans, but now, today it's in Harwich.
It's in Harvard.
Every time.
I don't even have time to pee. Okay.
Drive safely.
We're in Harvard.
Yeah.
487.
oh, yeah.
Oh, they have it.
Exit 11.
Yeah, have a dinner.
Yeah,